Hello everyone. Today at Women in the Academy of International Business webinar with notable speakers, we have Iwona Rokita. She's a business psychologist with a corporate mind and storyteller's heart. She's also a director in the legal department at a Zurich-based bank with over 14 years of experience in banking and in leadership positions. Today, she will share some practical insights about relational leadership, trust building, and the importance of emotional intelligence in international business.
Thank you.
Welcome to our webinar, Iwona. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good and excited. And I'm so happy to be here today and talk to you, Diana, and have our audience. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you. So let's start our conversation with a very important question. If you had to name one skill that made the biggest difference in your career, what would it be? And was it always there, or did you have to learn it the difficult way?
So I would say it's definitely an emotional intelligence. And I think it's almost 50% of any success in private life and also in business. Focusing on others, their feelings, emotions. This leads to incredible relationships and feeling of being understood. But if you ask if this was always inside me or not, I think some piece was inside me, but at the beginning I haven't realized this. And of course, it can be developed as any other skill.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's so important to master emotional intelligence because at the end of the day, people often act based on their emotions and their intuition. And this leads me to my second question. Emotional intelligence is considered as a soft skill. And but what does it actually look like in a high pressure corporate environment?
And it's important what you mentioned because indeed many people still do not appreciate its value. But in the fast changing world of artificial intelligence, I think it's becoming one of really most important skills. Just think about this: empathy, self awareness, and understanding of others' emotions. This is something that AI can't do yet. But in a high pressure environment, it may have a many forms. Like as a leader, you understand emotions of your team members. You understand when they feel fear, stress, or behave differently than usual. So you are able to name these emotions. You see and understand the context. Is it one off, or it happens more often, or for a longer period of time? And if so, why? And you can appropriately respond. For example, give them a feeling of safe space to discuss, share their views, opinions, and sometimes these are really simple things that people often don't do. In stressful environment where people don't feel safe, just organize a meeting, a space to talk, tell them about the situation, and give a chance to raise a voice. Simple things works best. But it can be also like during defensive meeting or even email. Instead of answering impulsively and let your emotions control you, just calm down and think. What drives the author? Why did the person react that way? Is angry or maybe frustrated? Or maybe unsecured or just impulsive. Usually we focus on ourselves, but we quite often don't think about others, right? What leads to that behavior? And then when you understand this context and you understand that better, just try to create appropriate answer. And lastly, I can share with you my personal lesson and thought about emotional intelligence from my private experience or like business private experience, my own experience. I had a mentor and a stakeholder at the same time, and we worked together closely for a longer period of time, and overall had a very good collaboration. When I started process for promotion to vice president slash director, I needed some sponsors from various areas to support my case. So people who I work who can say, yes, Iwona is the right person to be promoted. And he was obvious choice. And you know what? He refused. He said, I don't think you are yet there, and that would not be in line with my values. What usually you feel in such situation? Anger, frustration, or maybe shock? How do you react? Well, you think, I can manage this without you, without this person, right? And probably many people would start having like a kind of reserved or being cold. We are still working, but just just a little bit more far away. But I started thinking the other way around.
Mhm.
What led him to these thoughts? Maybe worth to ask. And also, I appreciated his honestly because many people will tell you a lot of things, but
Mm,
who has the courage to tell you, sorry, I can't support you because I don't think you are there? I thought, yeah, well, actually, this is the person that somehow I can rely on and trust, even though it's not in line with what I would like to achieve, right?
mhm.
So my conclusion was that I would rather prefer to still continue a relationship with such person. And guess what? A month later, he became my manager. A couple of months later, he gave me the letter confirming the promotion. And he said, I realized you have what you wanted, but I realized that it would be one of my biggest mistakes because you deserve that promotion.
Mhm.
And a couple of years later, he continues to be one of my biggest business supporters and mentor. And our relationship is really built on trust.
Yeah, wow, that's a very interesting story, and I admire how like instead of like getting reserved or distant, you saw it. No, this is an opportunity, and relationships. It's another example that strong relationships take time to build, and it's not a linear journey. That it has bumps along the road and sometimes maybe misunderstandings, but it's very important to calmly and gracefully evaluate the situation and move on from there.
And also understand your own emotions in this
Right.
context, right? Otherwise, if I would be angry and just respond with that anger, I would never gain such a great mentor today.
Right. Yeah. And this leads me to my next question. So, relational leadership, we read about it in academic journals, in the news, and in we talk about it in the workplace. What does it mean to you, like in practical terms, and especially as a woman in business, in a
Mhm.
leadership role?
Yeah, I love this topic, especially relational leadership. So it's as you mentioned, it's written in many journals, and I think it's a concept developed by Marie Ulbien, if I'm not wrong. And overall, it says that leadership is not a role, but the quality of interactions and relationships. This
Mhm,
is also the, the fact that the power of the leader is with connection and not with dominance. And lastly, that the team influence the leader in the same way as leader influence the team. So it's
mhm,
a both ways round. So examples. Um, leader doesn't need to be the loudest in the room or like bulldozer through the meeting to be respected. Relational leader leads by connecting, active listening, and co-creating. He's asking questions, connects the dots, and encourage the dialogue. Then relational leader builds influence by trust and not the title. They earn the fellowship by being authentic, reliable, and present, and not by hierarchy. So they are just open and honest. They are able to show their weaknesses. And for example, if there is, let's say, a junior team of members, relational leader is the one who says, "Hey, welcome to the team. Actually, because you are so fresh in the team, I'm sure you have a different eye. Just challenge me if you think from independent perspective that I did something wrong, because I can also learn from you." This is relational leader. And I think that the relational leadership can be done by both men and women. But quite often, in many masculinized, old fashioned companies, they still follow the old hierarchical way of management of the team. And we can show even today how this way of management of can change people, and it's not soft management, it's not a weakness, it's much stronger, because we build and maintain incredible relations, we manage effectively with trust and respect, and we really achieve a great results as a relational leaders. I think that this can be taken as a superpower if you are able to do that.
Right. Yeah. It's really interesting. I mean, everyone very often, like when they get to the management role, they have different leadership styles, and also their leadership styles might change over time, but it might remain similar in spirit. And connected to your previous story that you shared, how should emerging leaders and younger females, what should they do when their potential is not seen?
Hmm. Yeah, I think and it's probably not only with leaders. I would say it's a really common um, path for everyone, right? But also particularly to leaders. I think it's always remember that you don't need to be chosen. You just need to find your own path and follow it. You create your dream, your vision, and just follow it. Right? So I know it's difficult and it's so simple to tell about this, but when you divide this on a little step, you will find that it's much easier. So, like, get clear on what you want, right? Find and connect with people who already walk the path. Learn from them what work or not. Also, identify the skills you need to develop them, because we are all developing through our lives. It doesn't matter if you have 1 year experience, 10, 20 years, you can always learn something. So just think where you want to be, who did this path, what worked, what still you can improve, and just improve it now. Just start. And then start creating your own reality, but never give up. There's always a space for everyone, and the worst thing is just waiting and thinking that someone maybe can see my potential, because potential won't pay our bills.
Right, right. I like the line where you said, don't wait to be the chosen one. Go out and seek opportunities and mentors and sponsors, because it's so vital for any person, like you said, not just leaders, to have this team of support who are going to cheer for you no matter what. And especially when others may not see your potential, this is a group of people that will be cheering for you, and that's the relationship that you should be nurturing with this group of people that you can call your team.
Absolutely. And you know, Diana, I think you touched on very important point. And also in relation to women, I think that we have a tendency as a woman to look for someone from outside to see us, to appreciate our work. But we
Mhm.
also need to focus with support of these additional supporters and work on what I know I already can and show this to the world instead of just waiting.
Right. And it can be also a very overwhelming process, of
Mhm.
like finding yourself, of finding those people who are going to cheer for you, finding the right mentors and so on. And it's actually connected to my next question to you. How can women start building their professional identity, especially, for instance, if they don't have the right network, or they're just starting, or maybe they're transitioning from sector to a different sector?
Yeah, and I think Diana, you already touched a little bit on this because not everyone needs to be a great networker, right?
Mhm,
But it's really worth to start building some connections even today. And connection, it doesn't need to be a huge interactions with many people, but just start, as you said, just start finding people who who you trust, who understand you, who walk this path. Just finding the relevant people, I think this is the best starting point.
mhm,
And there is a plenty of ways how you can get to the right people. uh, you can, but talk about your goals, dreams. Let people to get to know you with others. Just exchange that with them skills and knowledge, that do the barter of skills, right? This really helps, right? So it's not like it doesn't need to be traditional networking. You can do this in a plenty of ways. But in my view, building a network even from scratch is really important to support you and find your supporter, as you said.
yeah.
And an example from my life that I really like is that when I was 19, I dreamed about working in a bank. So I was finishing my school, right? I was right before my studies. I had no network, nothing, zero. And I applied for various roles, not only banking, but also insurance. And once recruiter called me back and was like, he was laughing, literally. And he asked, "Did you apply for a role of an insurance agent?" He asked. I said, "Yeah, yes, that was me." And again, he's laughing. And how old are you? Are you 19? What do you think? How can you build a trust selling insurance for entire land being so young?
Mm,
And this experience can really be depressing when you are young, or like young and motivated person, or any other person. You don't want to do this. Probably you think, "Oh my God, what did I think?" But I didn't stop. And I got a job as a person selling credit cards to random people in a shopping mall. I learned then that I have much better social skills than I thought. I stopped one person who almost signed the form, but he had to run. When I called back, he offered me a job in one of best banks in Poland, where only people with strong experience got the job. He even didn't check my CV, and I was just 19, no previous experience. But he was so impressed with me and he gave me a chance.
mhm,
Later, when I was looking for other job, his name on the reference was key, as he always recommended me to the future employer. This is how you start. You have a bit of your dream, a bit of luck, and some good relationship. And sometimes just a one person is enough to start. But you also need to prove your great work, obviously, right? But it doesn't matter where you are today. You can follow the same pattern anytime.
mhm. Yeah, wow, that seems like one of the most defining moments in your amazing career so far, especially at the start. as you noted, it can be challenging to navigate the first steps, the start of the journey, and there will always be people who might doubt you, doubt your skills. But if there is this one person in a room of 100 people, then that one person is enough. So it can be quality over quantity when it comes to connections and people who would believe in you.
Absolutely.
And during your amazing career, what were the most two memorable defining moments that you could share with our audience?
Yeah. I think there were many, but from those that I haven't mentioned yet earlier, and it will be a bit of private mixed with the career. So the first, I would say it was a move to Switzerland, because it wasn't just a move. Behind this, there were entire story of planning, understanding what I want, where I am, and where I want to be. Every career decision was made considering the potential move. And finally, I got two competing offers and
Mhm.
could make this move. But this also helped me to understand myself better, how to work with different cultures, build network, and own platform from the beginning. And today I'm proud what I've built here, and also like people around me, changes in my mindset, and like overall feeling of personal growth. And the second thing that was also really defining was a serious illness in my family.
Mm,
And that was a moment where I didn't see anything instead of just a black thing. You can't think about anything. You just see black. You don't know what's going on. And there is a lot of fear, uncertainty. And at that time we had 1 year old baby, and our family was far away from us. And you can't move on also professionally, right? And I came back stronger. But what I learned from this story, I think these are very valuable things. First was 50%, I would say around 50% of our mental success were people, and also in professional field, because they help me to get the comfort that I am not alone, and the work that is still important can be managed with their support, where I can't be fully present, not physically, but even mentally. Therefore, great relationships and people who support you, also artwork, that's absolutely crucial. And I will highlight this hundreds of times. And secondly, I also reevaluated my life completely. I stopped running for being a top talent, the best at work, like promotions. Now I run for my own freedom, my own self awareness, development, and quality of my time with family and friends. And I think this is also important from professional perspective, because this all influence the work. I don't need to prove anything. I know who I am. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I want to develop and grow, but on my own rules.
mhm. Right. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, as you say, it's navigating life with grace and understanding that, like unexpected things happen, and it's important to sort of stay humble and at the same time understand that you're not alone, seek out help, and try to leverage the strengths of your relationships. So thanks for sharing those stories, and it's wonderful to see how you've overcome this and evolved, and now you have a different approach to both life and work. And speaking of lives and also our careers, they're definitely impacted by many factors, such as external environment, socioeconomic changes, and so on. And what is one opportunity in your view that the rise of AI is bringing to women's career, and one challenge?
Hmm. Yeah, so maybe I'll start with a challenge. And from one side, AI may disturb or disrupt some of jobs worldwide, held also by women, right? Like in some administrative fields, customer service. At the same time, there are opportunities in role required to develop AI, but currently women constitute still much smaller portion of employees in such roles. But on the other hand, this creates a plenty of opportunities. Less manual jobs may create opportunities for women to develop new skills and transition into higher paying, less automatable jobs. This also can be a great for women to assume roles in AI and tech environments on leadership positions where not only expertise but also softer skills such as what we discussed, emotional intelligence or relational leadership will play a bigger role than ever.
Yes, thank you. And my final question of our talk is, as you know, here at WAIB, we aim to nurture younger generation of female leaders. And what one piece of advice would you give them to have a fulfilling life?
Okay, I think this will be one piece divided on a few pieces and probably some kind of summary what we just discussed, right? So first of all, don't stop believing in yourself. Just just don't think you are not good enough. Stop waiting for someone to see your potential, as we just discussed. Just don't stop. If you believe you can do something, just do. Or even just don't doubt it. You can do this. Just define your vision and go for it. Then find people who support you. This was important piece of our discussion today, and this is so valid. If the more supporters you have, or sometimes just one person, but this is better. The interactions with humans are really the most or one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Then go for passion, personal development, and not primarily for money. It will come anyway, but in my view, it shouldn't be the main driver. Just go for love. Just do. Of course, we need some money, but don't think about this. Just think what you like, where is the passion, talk to people and go. And this is something that the outcome that will be the money. And just maybe summarizing, pay attention to relationships, take care of these relationships, take care of people, family, friends, also at work, and not for things or money. Yeah, so that's one piece of advice from my side.
No, that's a wonderful advice. I mean, take care of your relationships, build those networks, and follow your passion, follow what you're good at, and the reward, which whether it's money or a promotion or a new role, that will follow along the way. So that's a brilliant piece of advice. So thank you very much, and yeah, we can end our webinar on this note. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. It was pleasure.
Bye
Bye.
bye.